Hello, great people. This is your girl, Chidi Akunna.
And this is your G, Victor Akunna.
Okay, for anyone who is wondering, Chidi and Victor run an organization called Foundation for Family Affairs. And at Foundation for Family Affairs, like I like to say, our mission is simple: to connect hearts and raise healthy families. And what we'll be talking about today, I think, merges the two.
Yes.
Okay, from time to time, we get into our inbox to see what our listeners, our viewers would want us to talk about. And we have been collating some questions, and we thought, okay, we'll start dealing with them one after the other.
Yes.
Now, what we'll be talking about today is a question the person, this person is so smart. Now, this person has asked, what is your favorite memory of your courtship? You know why I said the person is smart? Yeah. The person has asked the question. I'm sure you weren't expecting just 1 point. You expected a discussion. Okay, so should I go first?
Go ahead.
Okay. What's my favorite memory of our courtship? As I thought about this question, now I would say we had our courtship was majorly long distance. And in saying that, I would refer you to one of our podcasts on managing long distance relationship. Yeah, and in that podcast, we're saying it's not for everyone. But yes, even though a lot of people would discount it and say it's not for me, I think, when the heart is pumping, you just want to be with this person.
And sometimes life just puts you in that position where the only option you have is long distance relationship.
Yes, and I tell you what, you would find anything to, bridge that distance if you're in love, So, well, I'm talking from experience. All right. So, ours is majorly long distance. And then I think I kind of enjoyed thinking about it now. We spent a lot of time talking, but my favorite memory would be us spending time reviewing books. He came up, my dear husband, my fiancé at the time, came up with this thing about us going through reading books together. So sometimes we'll read chapter by chapter some days and then review it right after. Talk about our opinions on our perspectives on what we've just read. Okay, but there were times when we would go away like for some days and say, okay, you read this book, I'll read it. And then we'll meet on, say, Wednesday, 7 p.m. to review it. Now, I'll tell you why I loved this. It helped us greatly to align our perspectives on many things, right? It helped address our expectations as well, because in the course of reviewing these books, we discussed our expectations going forward, going to the marriage. And now this highlights a point we would often emphasize in our intimacy builder program for engaged couples, right? When we take engaged couples on our coaching program, intimacy builder program, we emphasize that they talk, we even help them with tools, with ideas, perspectives they need to share, because you'll be surprised that you and your significant other would have different perspectives on a matter. Now, in saying that, I'll just give you one example. Sometimes you see people, when it's the issue of finance, right? One person says, no, I don't believe in having a joint account. And the other might be so shocked, like, what? All my life I've been preparing for this, probably because that's what this person saw growing up with his or her parents. So it just gives you that opportunity to fine-tune things. And when we say couples have to be proactive, okay, you need to preempt situations
and then decide how you want to work it out in your own
in your new nation you're forming, not just how it's been in your parents' relationship, in your parents' marriage, what you saw. Okay, so for us, this gave us opportunity to preempt situations, because as we read about these things, we have the opportunity to address them ahead of time. I found that really profound. So it's kind of bridged the gap between us. We didn't come into marriage and then we had too many differences, because we already had some agreements on a lot of things. Now, when just before we even started courting, I think I'd watched this clip from a woman of God where she was talking and saying that in the first few years of their marriage, they made a lot of mistakes. And that at the time, this was like, I think over 30 years ago, they didn't know the importance of reading. So as their marriage progressed, I think towards the 9th year, she realized that, reading books would help. And they started reading and their marriage improved. So for me, sitting there, just a single girl, not in a relationship, it was something I picked on. Well, I loved reading. I've always loved reading. It's a hobby for me. Okay, so for me, it kind of... I think highlighted the intentionality I needed to give it. Now I think I've said a lot.
Fantastic. In fact, I'm enjoying everything there because it's different when it's different. How we both see the same situation is different. Yeah. So I'm enjoying your own perspective because although we went through it together, but I'm enjoying again hearing from your own perspective how that experience really, really impacted you. Yeah. So for me. It's very similar to what you said. One event that's really, I think, really helped us is setting time to communicate. Because at that point, we were in mostly different time zones, 2 different continents, and sometimes it was really different when you moved to a different time zone again. Yeah. So I remember we had to schedule, we had a specific time every day that we talked. And so thinking back and reflecting on it, and I just kind of if I have to do it all over again, we are going to still prioritize setting out time to talk. And why am I saying this? I've noticed that singular action helped us to lay the foundation of the marriage that we're enjoying today.
That's right.
Because it gave us opportunity to do something like a date night, though we didn't think of it as a date night. It was more like having specific time where you get to talk about your future, talk about issues, talk about your dreams, your aspirations, and then it helped us to resolve conflicts easy and quickly, because that our lives have been so wrapped up around each other that, if we had conflict, who am I going to be talking with? So it was too boring that it made us develop that unconscious habit. I'm reflecting now. We got used to
each other.
Exactly.
It was something we were always looking forward to.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so that kind of, when you've built a relationship with someone that has now become your best friend, and if you fall out with a person, it can really hurt, and you're like, okay, where else am I? Nobody else you observe that you did not really share. Well, for me, I'm speaking for myself. I did not really share that level of intimacy with any other person that I could discuss some things with you, things that I was worried about or things that I was projecting that I wanted to achieve. So that put pressure to resolve any issue quickly, which has become like a habit right now. Another thing that I've observed was that it helped us to, bond, build date night, like I said, create some form of memories together. So, and then it helped us to consciously sacrifice for the relationship. And it might sound like, this is common sense. You guys were creating a relationship, but from my own end, it was really expensive then, because then I was living in a country that did not have a regular supply of power. So that means I had to for us to be able to talk, there are many things I needed to create my own power. I needed to set up, have access to internet, which was not very cheap. And when those were not available, I needed to recharge my phone, which was not cheap. So I had to do all this just to make sure that the communication was, and she made the same sacrifices as well. And then when she moved again to a different location, that we had about maybe 5 hours or 6 hours time difference. I remember she would have to wake up 5 a.m. in the morning, 4 a.m. in the morning, 4 a.m. Thank you. And that was my own 12 noon. So everything I was doing, if I had any meeting, I pushed every meeting away from that 12 noon because I knew if I don't talk to her at that time, I won't have any other opportunity. You know, so anytime you see me then, I'll be running around carrying laptop carrying my internet, looking for somewhere to. It was really, and that developed an unconscious habit of sacrificing and pushing.
It was actually 8 hours difference.
It was 8 hours difference, you know. So that's what I'm trying to say is that sometimes the experiences you go through as during courtship prepares you for marriage. So you might think that it's a disadvantage. No, it's actually strengthening you together.
Okay, I wanted to say that now as you were speaking about it, I realized that it built trust between us as well.
That's another
because
thing. Yes.
Having, we're talking about 8-hour difference and all of this. Now, you were committed to doing it, and I had proven that commitment. So if anything happened any day and you weren't online at the time we were supposed to talk, there was just that understanding that something must be up on his end. So I probably needed to reach you, and if I was unable to reach you, there was always an explanation, because you had proven yourself beyond any doubt that you were sold out to this journey. Yes.
I mean, those were the days of Yahoo Messenger. Then we didn't have that was no WhatsApp.
The highest of it was just Skype.
Skype was the highest. Skype honestly will hang, and then you you press the are you there? Those kind of those memories. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm saying this to say, if you are in a relationship, be it courtship, marriage, make time to communicate. Communication is not just talking. It's about feeling the heart of the other person, feeling the intentions of that person, feeling the dreams of that person, connecting with that person beyond just the rational and the emotion and the psychological level. So that way you earn trust, that way you build trust, and you earn trust in the process. So it's really, really great, and it's been a fantastic time so far. Yeah, it's
been wonderful doing life with you. I mean, that was a good start.
I can say that as well.
Okay, so let's not talk mushy here. Okay, I know our listeners and viewers are wanting more, but yes, until we come your way again, it's goodbye from us.
So please subscribe to our podcast, and then also look out for us on YouTube. Our name is Foundation for Family Affairs on YouTube. Subscribe there, and also follow us on Instagram, same name, Foundation for Family Affairs.
All right, bye for now.
Bye.